Google just dropped a bunch of new stuff on the latest Google I/O 2026. We have a new model, Gemini 3.5. We have a new video model. We have agentic shopping. We have Antigravity 2.0. We have a lot more. In this video, I'll be focusing on Antigravity 2.0 to show you how much it's changed compared to the previous version. The new modes of use, conversation versus projects. I'm going to create a quick game, Pac-Man, just to test it out and see how the speed of the new model. I'm going to show you how to connect it to GitHub and a lot more. Hi, if you're new here, that's great. So am I. You can call me Hubs. I like to share everything I know and learn about AI. So if you're interested in it, learning the new AI news and tools and whatever it's coming up, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. I have a lot of videos and ideas in mind for this channel. Now let's get into it. All right, so to download Google Antigravity, you want to come to Google and you type in Google Antigravity. And then on your very first link, you're going to click on that. You'll be taken to the home page of Google Antigravity. And then you can either choose to download on the top right corner or just here. It recognizes my system. I'm on Windows. So let's click on Windows. Here on the second page, you're greeted with choose some instruction pages. Again, the download, you choose your system, whether it's Mac, Windows, or Linux. In this case, I'm Windows, so I'm just going to click on download. As you can see, that's downloading now the EX file. All right, so the download is now complete. You're going to click on it and click on the installation. All right, so this is the loading screen of the new Antigravity 2.0. And now you are prompted to sign in with Google or a Google Cloud project if you have one. So we're going to go ahead and sign in with Google. And then we're going to go back into the application. So here we go. So now you have your security notice and data usage. It's up to you whether you say yes. For the sake of, I'm just going to say yes. Dark light. I'm just going to go light for now. Now, this is a new page that comes with the new Antigravity 2.0. Google has pre-built skills and MCPs that's going to help you, for example, develop an Android locally on Antigravity. So you might want to install all of these skills. I'm going to go ahead and tick and install all of these skills because why not? And go ahead and finish. All right, so this is the new look once you install Antigravity 2.0. As you can see, it's very minimalistic. They have a sidebar here that is sort of to toggle and hide your chats and projects. We now have two modes, which is conversation and project mode. So I think they're looking to make it super minimalistic and easy to use. So let us go through it. Let me move my face out of here. As you can see, we're greeted with a new prompt here to create a project. You can create not now or just create a project. You can choose, you can click to or pick a folder on your machine, or you can just skip that and give it a name. So let's say test. Now that you have a project, you can configure the project settings, that is the permissions and what kind of access you want your project to have. Let's have a look. Open settings. Here, this is your project settings. And again, you can choose, you can add folders to it, whether you have specific folders in your machine that you want to select and give it access to. You can choose what kind of security you want, whether to have full access to your own machine or you wanted access to unrestricted access or custom access that you can customize yourself, so it doesn't have to go back and forth, asking you for permissions for every single thing that it does. We have your local permissions. This is just the file and terminal commands, whether you want it to have. You can even set your project not to have access to the internet. So there's network rules here where you can block certain URLs from having access to your project, or rather your project having access to it through Antigravity. I'll get back to the settings, but let's go back into the particular folder. As you see here, we now have projects and conversations. Before we do that, as you can see here, we now have Antigravity here on top. with the current version, and you can check for updates. We can see that I'm running the latest version as of today, which is the 20th of May. All right, so this is the settings page. You access it from the bottom left corner of your screen. You click there. This is the settings, very minimalistic now. Now we have a project section. We have general accounts, permissions, appearance, models, customization, browser, app. Let us go through it quickly. Here you can see what account that you have on, your email address, marketing toggles, and this is whether you wanted to collect, analytics for data. Your permissions, this is again, it's project specific. Again, you can set permissions according to each project. So one project can have full access to your machine, the other one not have access to your machine. You can have a project that you don't want it to connect to GitHub whatsoever, so you can just set it as a local project. I think I will give some examples of that. We have for permissions, network permissions, terminal, and tooling permissions. And appearance, we have your verbose agent chat, that is new. This is toggled by default if you wanted to have display and preserve intermediate thinking steps, sort of like on your normal Gemini or ChatGPT, you would think the thinking process of every decision that is making, you can have that show into every decision that the agents are choosing to build your project for you. Appearance, light, dark. I'm going for light at the moment, but I usually go for dark, but just for the sake of the video, so I hope I'm not blinding you guys. Here you can choose the different colors of a background and foreground and accent. As you see here, this actually is a color that I picked. This is my brand color. The default color, I think, is blue, but I'm not fond of the blue, so I chose this color. And the models, you see your current models that you have access to, your rates, and you can actually, this is something new, the model credits. If you run out of credits on your models, you can toggle this, and this is going to give you, allow Antigravity to use the usage in your AI subscription to this. So this is actually quite good. If you click this, it's just going to bring out a page from your Google subscription. As you can see here, I'm on this one, and I can choose whether to add more credits, buy credits. Yeah, I think this option is just here to, make people try to buy the new $100 Ultra subscription. As you see, we have access to Claude Opus, GPT, Gemini 3.5, Flash High, and Flash Medium. Those are the two latest ones that we have, and this is what I'm going to be testing in this video. Customizations, you have your token usage. You can see what's using your tokens mostly. As you see, I have a bunch of skills that are basically acquired over from the previous Antigravity. You can see all of the skills here. You can see your MCP as well. Let us hide this. If you click on skills and hide, you can see your installed MCPs. You can click to add. You might want to add your basic, depending on what kind of project you have. If you don't know what kind of MCP you want, you don't even need to actually add it now. As you build your project, the systems can actually ask you to install these or do it automatically. For example, you're new to GitHub and you want to deploy your application to GitHub. I don't even need to add it now. I think I had it on the previous version, but I don't need to add it now. As I'm building, you can just ask Antigravity to deploy to GitHub, and then it's going to prompt me through all the process. But if you were to do it, you can just come here, just copy this and open it on Google quickly. I have it on another tab. If you open on Google, it's going to come to GitHub token, and then you'll be able to create a token for your particular thing. You just click on generating your token. I think I've already done this, so I don't need to, but you can just say Antigravity 2.0. Sorry. And then it says as you see, that's not available because I've already done this. You can come here, say access to Antigravity. You can choose how long you want Antigravity to have access to your GitHub, because it doesn't have to be in perpetuity. You can just choose how long you want it to, custom-wise, and you can choose how many repos you want it to have access to. I'm just going to choose all repos, and then you can click generate token. And then once you have a token, you can copy that token. As you see, I've already done this before. Here's my previous token. You can copy this token and then go back into your Gravity, paste it, install, and then that's it. Just cancel that. On the browser, this is just whether you want to toggle JavaScript execution policy. I would say you keep all of these settings as is by default. This is disabled unless you really know, unless you're a developer that actually know what's going on, or the security implications of having that on and off. I'd rather just keep that off. And this is the option whether you want to prevent it to sleep. I think if you have a laptop that sleeps quite quick, and then while you're busy with your white coding, you want to have maybe prevent it to sleep, and this is to keep it in the menu bar. Actually, I think this is a good thing. You can also toggle with different, notifications here, whether you want it to give notifications of every process as it goes. And the projects now you can, again, this is just the settings of specific projects. All right, so now let us see how good Gemini 3.5 Flash is. I'm going to start a new conversation. Actually, let me start a new project. We had here our test project. Build me. This is just a one prompt quickly. I just want to see how quick the model is going to be able to give me a result on this. I'm just want an interactive Pac-Man game. You can see it just created a folder. I like this new view that actually shows, everything that's being created as it is, as it's happening basically. And this is basically the new thinking process that, it builds and it tells you what's doing as it goes. Antigravity always starts with the implementation plan. All of the coding tools actually always implement a plan first before you can review it and then deploy it. So let's have a look at the implementation plan. So we have here, let me move myself to the side. We have your interactive neon Pac-Man code. We see the location in which the price is going to be. No external assets. I didn't give it anything else. It's going to be a plain bank game. The proposed changes, the architecture, and all the other technicalities that come with it. So here, go ahead. So now I just want something quick. I'm not trying to build the next GTA here. It's just something basic, just to see how fast the model is actually able to just generate something like a Pac-Man game. By the way, if you're new to anti-gravity, there's something called Artifact. Artifact is basically this plan that it gives you, and then you can actually add comments and review it changes if you want. So, for example, here it's telling me that it's going to be into this folder. I can say maybe change to a folder on the desktop. So you can add a comment into the plan before it actually executes. So it changes the whole implementation plan again. So it follows your review. For example, if the project is in a certain language, whether it's on Python or Java, and you want it into a different language, you can actually find a particular area in which talks about that specific thing, and then you can just add a comment to change into something else. Okay, so let us have a look. Select space, open again. Let us open again. Usually it gives you a local host address that you can just click and then open your browser. I'm not sure why it's giving me just HTML. So I'm basically prompting to, just give me a browser address. I can just click and then it's going to open on the browser. And okay. Now this is a prompt. Let's move myself here. This is basically asking for permissions, and I'm going to submit. Yes. As you see, it changed the project location to my desktop, and as I prompted on the artifact, and it should give me a link, a local link for me to open it on my browser. Okay, so I had specifically asked it for you, for you to give me this local host address, but usually on the previous version, it would just, if it knows that you're running it locally or want to run it locally, it would just give you this. Okay, so here we have it. This is a quick, very simple Pac-Man game. It is. I hope you can hear the sound. It's actually pretty cool. Let's try the keyboard shortcuts. I don't think the keyboard shortcuts are working. I'm pressing the arrows. Oh, okay, the arrows are working. Okay, I did that by. Yep. Again, this only took a minute or so, a few minutes, and it's actually very responsive. I just want to see now if the scores are being kept and recorded. So, this is the first time I've played Pac-Man in a long time, so I don't even know what the rules are anymore. But I know, you just have to eat up everything before you can move on to the next stage. Again, this is running completely offline on my machine. As you can see here on top, it's a local host 8080, so that's an environment, a virtual environment on my computer. We have here sound on and off, pause, instruction controls, and the leadership. This is pretty cool. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, because on my next project, I actually want to use Antigravity 2.0 to recreate this project that I've done. I did this on Antigravity, the first version, one, and this was when Gemini 3.1 came out. This was a very cool project, and it will be nice to see how easy I can be able to recreate this. This is basically a Porsche 911 just floating in space. Really cool. I think this is 1975. And I'm able to interact with it. I can actually upload my own custom cars. I can change the color. This is pretty cool. Metallic roughness. Even the clear coat. I can even control some parts of the car if it allows, the particular object allows. Different camera angles, POVs. Can change the environment light. It's really cool. If you can see here, it's actually a B2 Spirit floating in space that I also added to the project. So make sure you like and subscribe this video, and I'll see you in the next one.